Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today we are talking about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, a new movie out in theaters right now. And in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, it deals with the Ghostbusters who are once again asked to answer the call because this new god, ghost, demon thing is now terrorizing New York City once again. And this one has the ability to just freeze everything to absolute zero. The only thing in the known universe that can do that, apparently. Okay, so to get things started, first and foremost, what I liked about the movie, I like the main cast of the film. McKenna Grace as Phoebe Spangler. I don't know her birth last name, so I'm just going to call her Spangler. I like her in the role, and I do like the character in that role. Phoebe in Afterlife was kind of the highlight of the movie. She is the granddaughter of Egon Spangler of the original movie, and you can tell she is the descendant of Egon. And they went about passing the torch from him to her in the most respectful way you possibly can. Not only that, but Gary from the last one, he's back. This subplot with him trying to become more of a father-like figure to Phoebe and her older brother, Trevor. Some of it, yeah, it felt a little rushed, but ultimately, by the end of the movie, he felt like a father. Also, you have, like, the old cast of Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, I forget the third guy's name, coming in to the new crew, the new cast members, and working together. And unlike in Jurassic World Dominion, I thought it was pretty decently handled. Yes, it was a little rough around a few edges, but I thought it was decently handled overall. When it comes to this movie's villain, Gorak, I believe his name is, best original Ghostbusters villain since Gozer. In the first Ghostbusters, Gozer was intense, she was intimidating. She barely was even in the movie until like the last 30 minutes, but she had an impact on everything throughout the movie. And when they do finally show her, you know, you're just kind of on edge a little bit. They went a similar route with Gorak, but unlike what you would normally expect with it being half-baked, with Gorak, they actually used that time, that build-up, to develop him as intense. And it gets to the point where he's arguably almost as intimidating as Gozer. Definitely the most intimidating Ghostbusters villain since Gozer, undeniably. And the special effects in this movie are pretty decent. There's very few effects that look very fake. A lot of them, I would not be surprised if they had like some sort of basis in practicality. A lot of them look fairly realistic. I wouldn't say they're the best looking special effects I've seen all year, but they're definitely fairly realistic. In terms of problems, I honestly thought like the opening scene, which is a flashback to something like a little over a century ago, was kind of unnecessary. I personally would have preferred it if we found out about what happened like halfway into the movie. Instead of, oh, this happens, oh, here's an artifact, 15 minutes later, oh, there's that artifact again. Not only would we have been able to subconsciously know through things like camera work that artifact is dangerous, but it just felt very unnecessary. There's also this decent ghost character that I think the actress who plays her, she could have been better. Not only that, but she could have been written better because she apparently has this big role in the movie, and throughout most of the film you're just sitting there going, why are you here? Until like the very end. If they had made her more interesting, I think I would have been a little less annoyed with her. Also, why did the mayor character come back? And why has he not learned from the other, incidents the Ghostbusters were in, that these people are there for good? Honestly, like, why hasn't he learned at all? I don't know. But whenever he showed up, I was just in there going, okay, here we go again. But guys, at the end of the day, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, it's a fine movie. It's not as good as the original or Afterlife. But if you ask me, in my opinion, it is better than Ghostbusters 2 and that 2016 thing that never should have been called Ghostbusters. You like a good chunk of the characters. The old guard meets new aspect was pretty decently handled. The villain is the strongest scene since Gozer. I just had a few issues with some of the characters, and ultimately a flashback sequence that was just unnecessary. I am going to give Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a 7. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Budetsky will return.